Shanti Shanti. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine Avatara Vareshtaya Ramakrishna Math Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mrutangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate who came to establish universal religion. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. The Gospel is full of spiritual gems. Anybody seeking spiritual path can find these gems very useful. These are meant for developing our spiritual personality. The greatest result of the realization of the truth is that the intellect becomes very sharp, very sensitive. It can grasp the subtlest of the subtle, and it can interpret things in a proper way. That experience is open to everyone, but because the mind is exposed too much to the external things of the world, it has become blunt. The intellect has lost its power to think properly. The mind has lost its power to aspire properly. No grit, no determination, namby-pamby. The whole system has become terribly improper. The human body has become useless from a spiritual point of view because of the total neglect of the use of the faculties. Though God has endowed us with all the faculties to think, to act, but we are unable to use these faculties because all these faculties have become blunt. That is the worst effect of exposing the mind too much towards things of the world, and people have lost sensitivity. Sri Ramakrishna has explained all the philosophies in the most simple way, anybody can grasp and understand it. And it gives a lot of inspiration for the people going in spiritual path. Whatever Sri Ramakrishna has said, they're all gems only, not glass beads, precious gems. But we are to be fortunate to understand the glory, to recognize these gems given by Sri Ramakrishna. In a very simple way, Sri Ramakrishna has said the highest philosophy. For example, he takes the simile, water and the bubble. Extremely simple example, but see how the most tremendous spiritual content it has got. Sri Ramakrishna is explaining water and a bubble on it. They are one and the same. Bubble is part of the water. The bubble has its birth in the water. It floats on the water and is ultimately resolved into water. So also the individual soul and the supreme soul, Paramatma. Jivatma is individual soul. Paramatma is the divine supreme. They are one and the same, like the bubble and the water. The difference between them being only one of degree, for one is finite and limited, while the other is infinite. One is dependent, while the other is independent. The bubble is dependent on water. How nicely the highest philosophy has been explained by this analogy. One who is practicing spirituality sharpens his intellect very thoroughly. Another example he takes. As the snake is separate from its slough, even so is the spirit separate from the body. Men are like pillowcases. All these forms are containers, just containers. The color of one may be red, that of another blue, and that of the third black, but all contain the same cotton within. Inside all these pillowcases, the same cotton. So it is with person. One may be beautiful, another may be ugly, one may be holy, another may be wicked. They are all like pillowcases, but the divine being dwells in them all. The highest truths of the Upanishads are given in simple words by Sri Ramakrishna. You can't expect any simple other than this. So, if you study Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel, you will understand the truths expounded by the great scriptures. Another example is given. Each one is like a gem. When an unbaked pot is broken, the potter can use the mud to make a new one. But when a baked pot is broken, he cannot do the same any longer. So also, when a person dies in a state of ignorance, he is born again. Like unbaked clay, which can be used again to make pot, so also the person who dies in ignorance is born again. But when he becomes well baked in the fire of true knowledge and dies a perfect man, he is not born again. Then the relation of Brahman and Shakti, the energy. The whole universe is full of energy, nothing but energy. Energy in different ways. The relation of Brahman to Shakti is that of fire to its burning property. As a piece of rope, when burnt, retains its form but cannot serve to bind, so also the ego, ahankar, which is burnt by the fire of supreme knowledge, that knowledge which purifies the mind and heart alone is true knowledge. All else is only a negation of knowledge. The so-called knowledge to acquire which people are rushing forth, helter-skelter, is all a negation of knowledge. The real knowledge is that which relates to spiritual. Ordinary people, they talk bagfuls of religion. But do not practice even a grain of it. Grain, Grain. Whereas the wise person speaks a little, even though his whole life is religion expressed in action. So, we have to understand these things in the right spirit. Find out on which state you are stationed. From that state you have to proceed onwards. Spirituality is religion in practice. The spiritually minded belong to a caste of their own. They are beyond all social conventions. Again, Sri Ramakrishna gives a nice example. A boat may stay in water, but water should not stay in boat. That means a spiritual seeker may live in the world, but the world should not live within him. One doesn't care for the cage when the bird has flown away from it. And when the bird of life flies away, no one cares for the body left behind. Sri Ramakrishna pays great importance for thinking. That's why, in order to make people think rightly, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, repeat the mantra of God. Because that determines the formation of spiritual mind. If day in and day out you are thinking of dirty things, you become dirty without even knowing about it. As one thinks, so does one become. How much important it is, but how much we are neglecting. We give million reasons for not doing spiritual practice properly. Million reasons. What's the use of giving reasons? It is very pleasant to scratch an itching ringworm, but the sensation one gets afterwards is very painful and intolerable. In the same way, the pleasures of this world are very attractive in the beginning, glamorous, charming, but their consequences are terrible to contemplate and very hard to endure. See how Sri Ramakrishna has explained all these things. Each one is a gem. We must have humbleness to hear them properly, apply them in our life. Egoism, carelessness, stubbornness, arrogance have no place in spiritual life. To drink pure water from a shallow pond, and one should gently take the water from the surface without disturbing the pond in the least. If it is disturbed, what will happen? The sediments rise up and make the whole water muddy. Same way, if you desire to be pure, have firm faith and slowly go on with your devotional practices without wasting your energy in useless argumentations and discussions about the scriptures. Your little brain will otherwise be muddled. Again Sri Ramakrishna says, sunlight is one and the same wherever it falls. But only a bright surface like that of water or of a mirror reflects it fully. So is the light divine. It falls equally and impartially in all hearts. But the pure and pious hearts of holy people receive and reflect that light well. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, know yourself and you will know God. Knowing who am I, he is realizing the Paramatman. What is your ego? Is it your hand or foot or flesh or blood or any other part of your body? Reflect well and you will find that the ego has no real existence. Just as if you peel off the skin of an onion layer after layer in search of a kernel, for a while more and more skin appears and then nothing at all. So it is if you go looking for the ego. There is no kernel within the onion. There is no ego within yourself. In the last analysis, what is within you is only the Atman, pure consciousness. When the illusion of the ego disappears, then appears the reality, namely God. There are two kinds of ego, one ripe and the other unripe. The unripe ego thinks, this is my house, he is my son, it belongs to me, that belongs to me. The ripe ego thinks, I am the servant of the Lord, I am his child, I am the Atman immortal, free, I am pure consciousness. How long does one argue about the meaning of the scriptures? Only until the Satchidananda becomes revealed in one's own heart. The bee buzzes only so long as it doesn't sit on the flower. As soon as it sits on the flower and begins to drink of the honey, all noise stops. There is complete silence. Useless is the study of the scriptures if one has no discrimination, if one has no dispassion. One cannot find God unless one is endowed with these discrimination, his knowledge of what is eternal and what is non-eternal, and devotion to the eternal, which is God. It is knowledge that the Atman is separate from the body. Dispassion is non-attachment to the objects of sense. The true hero is he who can discipline his mind by devotional exercises while living in the world. A strong man can look in any direction while carrying a heavy burden on his head. Similarly, the perfect man can keep his gaze constantly fixed on God while carrying the burden of worldly duties. A boy holds on to a pillar and circles round it with headlong speed. While he is spinning, his attention is constantly fixed on the pillar. He knows that if he lets go his hold upon it, he will fall and hurt himself. Similarly, the wise grihasti holds on to the pillar of God, keeps his mind fixed on him, and performs his worldly duties. Thus is he free from all dangers. Clay in its natural state can be molded into any form, but burnt clay cannot. Similarly, spiritual truths cannot be impressed upon hearts that have been burnt by the fire of lust. To bring one's heart and one's speech into accord is the goal of all spiritual discipline. If you say, O Lord, thou art my all in all, while in your heart you believe the objects of the world to be all in all, your devotional exercises are bound to be fruitless. Countless are the pearls lying hidden in the sea. If a single dive yields you none, don't conclude that the sea is without pearls. Similarly, if after practicing spiritual disciplines for a little while, you fail to have the vision of God, don't lose heart. Continue to practice the disciplines with patience, and at the proper time you are sure to obtain grace. Strike a match, and the light disperses all at once the darkness of a room, even though accumulated for centuries. Similarly, a single gracious glance of the Lord disperses the accumulated sins of innumerable births. The magnetic needle always points towards the north, whatever the direction in which the ship is sailing. That's why the ship doesn't lose her course. Similarly, if the mind of a person is always turned towards God, he will steer clear of every danger. There is only one God. But endless are His aspects, and endless are His names. Call Him by any name, and worship Him in any aspect that pleases you. You are sure to see Him. Sri Ramakrishna is stressing that we should focus on our spiritual practices rather than looking at others. You do what you should do. There the matter is over. You see many stars in the sky at night, but not when the sun rises. Can you therefore say that there are no stars in the heavens during the day? O man, because you can't find God in the days of your ignorance, say not, there is no God. He is born in vain, who having attained the human birth, so difficult to get, does not attempt to realize God in this very life. Seekest thou God? Then seek Him in man. His divinity is manifest more in man than in any other object. Man is the greatest manifestation of God. Jiva is Shiva. All living beings are God. Who then dare talk of showing mercy to them? Not mercy, but service. For man must be regarded as God. That's the idea of Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Dhitaya Cha. That's the motto fixed by Swami Vivekananda, having learnt it at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. Again Sri Ramakrishna says, there is one whom you may call your own, and that is God. I tell you the truth. There is nothing wrong in your being in the world, but you must direct your mind towards God. If you say I am a sinner, eternally you will remain a sinner to all eternity. You ought rather to repeat, I am not bound, I am not bound. Who can bind me? I am the Son of God, the King of Kings. It is said that truthfulness alone constitutes the spiritual discipline of this modern age. If a man clings tenaciously to truth, he ultimately realizes God. All religions are true. God can be reached by different religions. Many rivers flow by many ways, but they fall into the sea. They all are one. A truly religious person should think that other religions also are paths leading to truth. We should always maintain an attitude of respect towards other religions. Women, whether naturally good or not, whether chaste or unchaste, should always be regarded as images of the blissful Divine Mother. Money can fetch you bread alone. Don't consider it as your sole end and aim. He is truly a man to whom money is only a servant. But on the other hand, those who do not know how to make a proper use of it hardly deserve to be called men. To become great, one must be humble. The tree laden with fruit always bends low. So if you wish to be great, be lowly and meek. Rainwater never stands on high ground, but runs down to the lowest level. So also the mercy of God remains in the hearts of the lowly, but drains off from those of the vain and the proud. The ego that asserts, I am the servant of God, is the characteristic of the true devotee. It is the ego of Vidya and is called the ripe ego. Wherein is the strength of a devotee? He is a child of God, and his devotional tears are his mightiest weapon. Look at the anvil of a blacksmith, how it is hammered and beaten, yet it moves not from its place. Let people learn patience and endurance from it. Don't find fault with anyone. And Chidananda says further, don't find fault with anyone, not even with an insect. As you pray to God for devotion, so also pray that you may not find fault with anyone. Purify the spectacles of your mind and you will see that the world is God. As the dawn heralds the rising sun, so sincerity, unselfishness, purity and righteousness precede the advent of the Lord. Every person should follow one's own religion. A Christian should follow Christianity, a Mohammedan, Mohammedanism. For the Hindu, the ancient path, the path of the Aryan rishis, is the best. Let me be condemned to be born over and over again, even in the form of a dog. If so, I can be of help to a single soul. I will give up 20,000 such bodies to help one man. It is glorious to help even one man. Spirituality cannot be attained until materiality is gone. Meaning, not that you get rid of all belongings, but attachment to them. Happiness is a gift of God, whatsoever may happen. What happened was for good. What is happening is also for good. What will happen is also for good. What have you lost that you cry? What did you bring in this world that you have lost? What did you create that has been destroyed? Whatever you look was here and is given back to this world. What belongs to you today belonged to someone else yesterday, will be someone else's tomorrow. How nice truth. Parivartan is the essence of life. That is change. That is the essence of life. Nothing is permanent. As long as you believe that you are the doer, you will also bear the results of consequences. When you realize the super truth that he is doer, you are only an instrument. If you can learn every thought and action that you have or do belongs to him, you will be set free from shackles of this cycle. This is the essence of Karma Yoga. In addition, we must have Prasada Buddhi. That is, Karma Yoga result in also as per the laws of nature and not as per our expectations. Capacity to accept the result of our actions as a grace of God is the secret of success and key to avoid stress in life. Don't leave the attachment to the results. Maintain the attitude to work with sincerity and accept the result as in accordance with the wish of God. You sow a seed of neem tree and years later you forget and you expect mangoes from this tree. Nature's laws never go wrong. You reap only what you sow. It needs great courage and preparation to receive truth. Christ was nailed. Duryodhan never listened to Lord Krishna. People who are ready to hear truth are but few. But please understand, happiness that has a cause cannot last. You will have to learn to connect to the ocean of happiness within us, which we have forgotten about. Life is full of diversity, billions of faces, and we do not find two who are exactly same. Similarly, no two minds are alike. So know it for all time. To differ is but natural. But at the root, all are one, just like a tree which has branches, leaves, flowers and fruits, but all originate from roots. What is most important tip for mental peace? Remember, comparison is death. Be yourself. Don't compare with others. A mango tree is a mango tree. Neem tree is neem. They do not feel jealous of each other. Understand nature of mind. It will always make you restless or unhappy by going in pursuit of what you do not have. Just like a child who has a million toys, but he cries for a new one without enjoying the ones he has. Whatever you do, do for your own happiness. Never say, I did this or that because of you. Each one of us has this great power within us. Do not let us be selfish. Expand your consciousness to all people, all beings, whole of the universe. Do not allow negative thoughts. Do not do any negative deeds or actions, and your life will be full of positive energy and events. When you have good or positive thoughts, whole world vibrates with you. Breath is the bridge between life force and body. Meditate with breath, in and out. There is nirvana, salvation in each moment. Present moment holds the key to future. If you can remain in present moment, you will experience joy. All sorrows will be gone. Nature is full of abundance. Always expand your consciousness. You are a born king. Don't act like a beggar. I want, I want. that shrinks your consciousness. Worry and fear are pointless. Always entertain only happy thoughts. If you do not water the roots, can you expect the tree to flower? Same way, if you do not spend time with your core Atman, how can you be happy? For a few minutes each day, try to turn all your senses and mind inwards. For a few minutes each day, try to turn all your senses and mind inwards. Thought waves are energy. Uncontrolled mind dwells in negative thoughts, and this unfavorable energy created by negative thoughts is very harmful to achieving your objectives. Ideas, thoughts and actions will work only when they are backed by life force or energy. You have lots of energy if your mind is disciplined. Spirituality has been very beautifully explained on the basis of mathematics. 0 is the basis and 1 to 9 are Maya. 1 is always entangled in Maya, but there is no meaning if 0 is missing. 0 means formless. Yoga means unity. If life is divided, there can never be happiness or progress. Thoughts, words and deeds should be same. Whenever there is division or conflict, degradation will begin. As an example, if you take the British Empire, sun never used to set. It was so vast, but they divided and ruled. Where are they today? Families were jointly living, and now we see nucleus families. People are dividing everywhere. Number of kids in each family have come down. Rate of divorce has gone up. Family system has undergone full decay because of division. 90% of our life's energy is spent in trying to make people think of us that which we are not. That energy would be more rightly be spent in becoming that we would like to be. Whenever you are in a crisis situation, do not act in haste. When you enter a dark room, you cannot see anything. If you try to move yourself, you will bang your head on the walls. But wait, and you will start seeing as eyes adjust to darkness. Similarly, give time to yourself, and you will find solutions in a crisis. When there is a problem, God has already created a solution for it. If you keep a cool mind, you are certain to see this solution. Consider each problem as a challenge. Each challenge is to be overcome and go to next level in life. If you learn the lesson from your problem or challenge, it will not bother you again. If a problem recurs again and again, give a thought, and you have certainly not learned your lesson. Most important, the day you begin to take responsibility for all that is happening in your life, revolution will start. As long as you keep blaming the world for all your miseries in life, nothing will change. You have control only on yourself. You are the sole cause for miseries in your life. Time is a wall, and our thoughts and deeds are like balls. Each of our thought and deed that we throw hit the wall of time and bounce back to us. All that we suffer, good or bad, without exception, are the results of our own actions or thoughts, good or bad. Problem is, you forget that we had sown seeds of neem, and now you expect mangoes from it. One thing is certain. God has blessed us with a human body. Thank Him for that, and be grateful that you are not another creature. Humans alone on this planet have the power of discretion. To make a right choice is what takes you towards goal. Maintain the mental hygiene. You clean your house, clean your body. What about mind? Meditate on this. If you don't clean your house, it collects dirt so soon. You accumulate so many useless ideas and inputs in your mind each day. Meditation cleans your mind of this unwanted garbage. Left uncleaned, this garbage leads to unwanted desires, ideas and mental agony. There is a power which governs the laws of this universe. You can call it by any name. Just to take the example today, if the speed of rotation of the earth increased by 2-3 times, what would happen if the sun disappeared? Who is the controller? Knowing this makes you realize your size and place in this universe, and this will make you humble. So let us try to focus on these spiritual gems of Sri Ramakrishna and practice spirituality sincerely. That's the only hope. At Keshav's request, Rajendra Mitra arranged a religious festival at his home in Calcutta and invited Sri Ramakrishna and the devotees, including the members of the Brahma Samaj. 2 days before, Agornath, a prominent member of the Brahma Samaj, had suddenly passed away in Lucknow. Keshav and the other Brahmo devotees were in mourning. Why are you so sad? If Keshav can't come, let him stay away. Our master will be here. He is always in communion with God. He enables one to see God, and his presence will make the festival a success. Rajendra, accompanied by Ram and a few others, paid Keshav a visit to express their condolence for the death of Agornath. Keshav said to Rajendra, "Why? I haven't said I shall not join in the festival of your house. Sri Ramakrishna will be there. So how can I stay away? I am in mourning. It is true, but I shall come." On the wall in Keshav's room hung a picture of Sri Ramakrishna absorbed in samadhi. Rajendra said to Keshav, "Many people say that he, pointing to the picture, is an incarnation of Chaitanya." Keshav, looking at the picture, said, "One doesn't see such samadhi. Only men like Christ, Muhammad and Chaitanya experienced it." About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna arrived at Manomohan's house. He rested there a while and had some refreshments. Surendra took the master in a carriage to the studio of the Bengal photographer. The art of photography was explained to him, and he was shown how glass covered with silver nitrate takes the image. As the master was being photographed, he went into samadhi. A little later, Sri Ramakrishna arrived at Rajendra Mitra's house. Keshav had not yet come, and Mahendra Goswami was reading from the Bhagavata. The master conversed with the devotees. Master said, "Why shouldn't one be able to lead a spiritual life in the world? But it is extremely difficult. While coming here, I passed over the bridge at Bag Bazaar. How many chains it is tied with. Nothing will happen if one chain is broken, for there are so many others to keep it in place. Just so, there are many ties in a worldly man. There are many ties on a worldly man. There is no way for him to get rid of them except through the grace of God. One need not be afraid of the world, for one has had the vision of God. One need not be afraid of the world, after one has had the vision of God. Both Vidya and Avidya exist in his Maya, but one becomes indifferent to them after realizing God. One understands it rightly after attaining the state of a Paramahamsa. Only a swan can discard the water and drink the milk from a mixture of milk and water. A robin cannot do so. A devotee. Then what is the way for a householder? Sri Ramakrishna answered, faith in the Guru's words. You should depend on his instruction. Do your duties in the world, holding fast to his words, like a person whirling round and holding fast to a pillar. One must not look on one's Guru as a mere human being. It is Satchidananda himself who appears as the Guru. When the disciple has a vision of the Ishta, through the Guru's grace, he finds the Guru merging in him. What can one not achieve through the simple faith? Once there was an Annaprasna ceremony in a Guru's house. His disciple volunteered, according to their powers, to supply the different articles of food. He had one disciple, a very poor widow, who owned a cow. She milked it and brought the Guru a jar of milk. He had thought she would take charge of all the milk and curd for the festival. Angry at her poor offering, he threw the milk away and said to her, "Go and drown yourself." The widow accepted this as his command and went to the river to drown herself. But God was pleased with her guileless faith and appearing before her said, "Take this pot of curd. You will never be able to empty it. The more curd you pour out, the more will come from the pot. This will satisfy your teacher." The Guru was speechless with amazement when the pot was given to him. After hearing from the widow the story of the pot, he went to the river, saying to her, "I shall drown myself if you cannot show God to me." God appeared then and there, but the Guru could not see him. Addressing God, the widow said, "If my teacher gives up his body because thou dost not reveal thyself to him, then I too shall die." So God appeared to the Guru, but only once. Now you see, because of faith in her Guru, the disciple herself had the vision of God and also showed him to her teacher. Therefore I say, even though my Guru frequents a grog shop, still to me he is the embodiment of eternal bliss. Let's stop here. Announcements. November 5th, that is first Sunday in November, we have special discourse in the auditorium here, morning at 11 o'clock, Sunday. The topic is Leadership Excellence, Learning from Ancient India, to be delivered by Professor C. Panduranga Bhatta, who is coming from India for attending some conference here. We have Shivnam Sankirtanam on Saturday, November 11th, evening after 6 p.m. Aarti. And another important event coming up in the month of November in Chicago is retreat by Swami Shantarupananda. It will be a one-day retreat here But he'll be coming 3 days earlier. He'll be giving a talk on Friday, the healing powers of divine love. Friday evening 7:30. Saturday retreat day. The topic preparations for spiritual life. Sunday service, he'll be giving talk on controlling anger before it controls you. Another special announcement is that we have Holy Mother Sri Shada Devi's birthday coming. We are celebrating on December 10th, Sunday morning. The puja will begin after bhajans and brief talk at 10:30. You are cordially invited to participate. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing this name that baths for various hours. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the ties of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased, he being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.